Today I'm going to be watching this video. It says new data shows how much Canadians are avoiding the US. So of course, since Trump came into power, was talking all his nonsense, slapping tariffs on Canada unfairly, then yeah, a lot of Canadians were boycotting the US, whether it's US products, travel to the US. And yeah, this was just released a couple of days ago, showing actual data for it. So interested to see this. I've watched a lot of videos on this situation. So always good to get some like hard data and how that's, see how it's analysed and see what results come from it. Yeah, let's see how it is. Tell me how you're avoiding the US. Has your feelings changed since all this has been going on? Let's watch.
Attorney is in Mexico this hour looking to strengthen ties as both countries say they're striving to lessen reliance on the United States. The U.S. in turn says it's disappointed in Canada and Canadians' response to its tariffs.
Even that, how annoying must that be to be Canadian and see like that's the response is what's being criticised rather than the tariffs themselves. Mental.
It is very, very difficult to find Canadians who are passionate about the American-Canadian relationship. Okay, you ran a campaign where, it was anti-American, elbows up, me too. It was an anti-American campaign.
That is such like victim mentality when they're the aggressors in this situation. It's like saying that he didn't find Canadians who were passionate about it. And yeah, I kind of agree. Maybe Canadians are not passionate. Maybe they just were happy in general with the relationship as it was. It's not like something to be passionate about. Like I wouldn't say I'm like passionate about the relationship between Scotland and England. It's just like I don't mind it. It's there, do what we need to do and all that. But to go on and say that, like try and paint America as the victims in this is like utterly
The CBC's JP Tasker has been tracking the numbers on how Canadians are choosing to spend their money in the face of the trade war. Okay, JP, let's start with travel. This is one of the things you've been on for a while now. What are we seeing on the travel front?
Yeah, after President Trump launched his trade war and hit us with punishing tariffs, you'll remember Prime Minister Mark Carney said the old relationship with the United States will soon be over. Mm-hmm. Now we have some hard data to suggest that prophecy is coming true. There has been a quantifiable shift with travel on trade, shopping, and culture. Let's start with cross-border travel in particular. It's not just a slump, it's really in free fall. With trips by automobile in August, it was down 35% in August alone. And when we first started talking about this phenomenon, it was really a land border thing, if you'll remember. Well, now we also have some data on air travel as well. That's down.
Yeah, just with regards to the car trips, you can see that. And yeah, the interesting thing is obviously after the pandemic, you can see it was increasing. Getting almost back. If all this hadn't happened, it could potentially have been back up to pre-pandemic levels, but rather than that, it's went down to like its lowest since then, which is huge amount of difference, and that really shows that Canadians are taking this seriously, and that's a lot of revenue lost for America.
Well, that's down 25% year over year. In August, Air Canada has cut back a number of its U.S. routes or downsized some of the planes on some of the routes to American cities. But that doesn't mean travel demand has dried up. They've actually added 28 international routes to destinations beyond the United States. Canadians still want to travel. They're going to Europe, the Caribbean, and South America instead.
So yeah, that's good. It's like you see how quick they can change things, and Canadians, really like hitting America where it hurts, not travelling there, whether it's by car or by aeroplane. I guess aeroplane you'll usually find is more for people who are, going for holidays. So the car one might be people who are just going across the border for a short amount of time. The aeroplane one shows like people, they're not just losing money from the travel, but it's like everything that goes along with that, all the tourism, the money spent in shops, restaurants, all that, the hotels. So it's like a bigger a bigger point there when it shows you the lack of air travel.
Right, okay, because we saw basically it was cut in half from pre-pandemic numbers or pretty close to it. You know, my kids wanted to go to Disney. We took them to PEI this summer. The beaches were just as good. Okay, so that's travel. Let's talk about trade, because this is the
Yeah, tell me your experience as well. Did you have plans to go to the US for holidays? Did you go somewhere else? Like, where did you go? How was it? Cool to see more Canadians maybe coming to Europe and things like that. That's pretty nice.
thing that is, being directly hit by this. What's the data showing?
Yeah, Canadian exports to the United States have dropped about 2%. That seems like a small figure on paper, but you know this well. That's about $5 billion a hit to exporters in this country, so it's dropped off. But businesses have not wasted any time finding new markets or tapping old ones that maybe have atrophied in the years that we've gone all in on the United States. And when you look at the United Kingdom in particular, it's up 63% this year in terms of the number of exports that are going, the value of those exports going to Great Britain and Northern Ireland. In terms of Europe overall, it's up 26%. So we're sending many more minerals, resources, technology, infrastructure, agricultural products. It's all up. So as the U.S. craters, or at least dips a little bit here, craters in terms of the dollar amount, they're finding other markets to sell those goods.
I mean, that's a huge increase there as well. So that's awesome to see, like, the relationship between Britain and Canada strengthening. Hopefully that just is a long-term thing that will continue. We can see that Can-Zook relationship maybe growing. It'd be cool to see, Australia and New Zealand, if there's any sort of increase there as well. But America's losses, Britain's gain.
Important to say, though, with the interconnectedness and the scale of trade, that 2% is probably even a whole lot bigger than the 63.
I will say, though, the UK is now our second largest trading partner as a result of all these shifts. They've actually displaced China. So we are sending more goods to the UK than just about any other jurisdiction on Earth, other than, of course, as you say, the United States.
Okay, that is an interesting development there. Okay, so we see the trade changes, the travel changes, the change in those flows. What other changes you see and what consumers are doing?
Yeah, let's dig into some consumer patterns. We've seen some data from American liquor producers. Of course, we've been following this trend for a long time. We now know sales of United States liquor, American liquor, are down 62% in this country.
And even that, again, like, is a huge number. Like, tell me how that's affected you, if it is. Are you making a conscious effort not to buy American liquor? What are you buying instead?
Country, as it stands right now, as of the last quarter for Brown-Forman, a major manufacturer, a major producer of alcohol. You'll know them for Jack Daniels, Woodford Reserve Bourbon. They are sounding the alarm. It's been a huge hit to their bottom line. That's why they're missing their quarterly reports. Loblaw, of course, the country's largest grocer, is also seeing a major dip in terms of the sales of U.S. products. They've taken dozens of U.S. products off their shelves and replaced them with Canadian ones because there is a demand for that homegrown content. They've added more than 100 new Canadian suppliers to their supply chain because there is that demand. Let's also talk about books. This is a really interesting one too. I got some data from Indigo, and actually the sales of Canadian authored books this year are up 25% year over year. So there's really this pivot to buying books that are authored by Canadians. We're also seeing...
That's something you probably don't think of. I think when people thinking about boycotts, it's more, just things you buy in the supermarket, the day-to-day things that you buy a lot. But something like that is good because not only does it hurt the US, but it really helps Canadian arts, Canadian authors. To recommend some good Canadian authors, some good books, that'd be quite interesting to know.
That there has been a shift in terms of other cultural mediums too, including Canadian television.
Right.
I asked CBC Radio Canada for some data on how their programs have been performing. And actually, GEM viewership is up 34% this year in terms of that streaming platform that we have. Murdoch Mystery, Schitt's Creek, Heartland this hour has 22 minutes. They're all up double or triple digits compared to what they were at last year.
Okay, it's interesting on the consumer goods losing market share and losing shelf space, and that's tough to get back when things do go back to normal.
Right?
Exactly. So who knows when things go back to normal? Canadians have responded to the nationalist call. The U.S. does not like what they're seeing from their northern neighbors.
Yeah, you'll remember the ambassador, the U.S. ambassador, P. Huckster, kind of chastised Canadians, said that we were being nasty for some of these boycott campaigns. Well, he has some fresh comments we want to play for our audience. Have a listen.
Much of that messaging is continuing. We got to be tough against the Americans. We're not going to buy F-35s. We're going to ban your alcohol. We're going to tell our people not to travel to the United States. I'm sorry, but that's what we see. That doesn't tell me that Canada is passionate about this relationship in the same way that we are.
Like, you got no self-reflection to think about what he's actually saying. Like, again, like, I don't know how people can be so just blur in the head, man, where they does he not understand what's actually going on? Like, what does he think? Like, again, like, Canadians just going to bow down and just be like, oh yeah, just hit us with tariffs, we'll just continue to buy all your goods and things. Like, what do you think? Like, that's no one like that is going to do that. Like, if someone just hit America with huge tariffs out of the blue, surely people are going to be reacting negatively to that as well. It's like anybody would, and it's good, yeah, again, even if you take America out of the situation here, it's good that just Canada's just embracing its own products, its own creations, and yeah, supporting the domestic economy is good.
Not passionate. He's also talking about how there was hope for a big deal with Canada that has faded. So as this rhetoric comes from the United States, we are seeing that Canadians, consumers, businesses, they've already made the pivot. They are finding new markets. They are shifting their behaviors. And the federal government is as well, as you well know. And that's why we're seeing Prime Minister Mark Carney in Mexico today. This diversification campaign, it's in full swing.
Yeah, the thousands of people have lost their jobs because of the trade war. They're pretty passionate about what's going on. All right, thank you, JP. We'll see more data from you.
That's true, I guess passionate, but in maybe not the way that Ambassador thinks. Passionate with some fight, which is, yeah, a good thing. Yeah, tell me what you think, and do you ever see this changing if Trump goes out of power and maybe the Democrats come back into power? Do you think it could be, we'll go back, or you think Canadians will just be like, no, this is good, we're happy with the way things are going? Yeah, being British, I'm just happy to see that relationship between Canada and Britain blossoming. So tell me what you think. Thanks.